host of this.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Duke. Just drink a gallon of water, dude.
Anyway,
What's up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea, and we're talking Big Brother Week 4. Pat, Uncle Shane, back with me again. Thanks for coming back on, guys. How are you guys doing? We got a nice little birthday weekend.
All good, man. It's good to be back on show, Duke. Thanks for inviting me again.
Absolutely. Glad to have you back on. Pat, looks like a change of scenery.
yes, it is. I decided to hang all that stuff up, not blaming mom. I'm growing up.
Are you in a house, or is that because it looks like you're just like in the shed?
This is my room.
Oh, that's your room? Okay.
Some slanted ceilings.
It's kind of like that Harry Potter situation where he's under the stairs. I'm just stowed away in the attic.
Do you need to blink twice and we'll send authorities?
Hostage situation.
Well, shit. Let's get right into it, guys. With this week of Big Brother, week 4. It looks like the trend continued with winner picks going home. So my pick, Nicole, was evicted this week. So maybe I can pick somebody else. Was anybody surprised with Nicole's performance and her going out this week, or not much of a shock?
It's funny because this keeps happening. Like, this has happened 3 weeks in a row where people are volunteering, and with Pooch, Amira, and now Nicole, you would think that there'd be a little bit more self-awareness. I don't know. I guess it's a lot different from our perspective from theirs, but it's just like, does nobody see that trend, or what do you think, Duke? I don't know.
It's interesting because Nicole was obviously on the wrong side of the Amira vote in general. So I would try to figure out, first of all, why that happened if I were in her position. And then, just to go ahead and volunteer herself again the following week. And she was very confident too, which was super surprising.
Super confident. I think that's an understatement. Very confident.
Isn't that the best part, though? When they're confident and we're watching them and we're like, you're so going home. This is so fantastic. I love it.
And I also want to say I love Kyle, because there's a lot to break down this week. But, Alyssa going to Kyle being like, what happened? And Kyle's just like, I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm just as confused. I love you.
Kyle had a great week, I thought, for the show in general. There's something, I don't know if we touched on it last week, but did you guys see the segment where Joseph was talking to Alyssa and she mentioned she had something back home?
That's like a new phrase. It's like a situation, like a situationship or something, because it's like that. That's clearly young people talk, because nobody ever said that when I was growing up, like a situation. But they kind of glossed over it. Remember, at first he's real concerned. Well, then Sunday night they're making out in the peanut butter room or whatever that room is that has all the food supplies, and it's clearly he got past it.
Yeah, which is love to be that's just my person, and come to find out it's her boyfriend of 10 years. But that'd be fun. But also they're the making out in the pantry. A lot of that's a bulk. They're trying to keep it under wraps, but the pantry, I feel that's, and you got Jasmine walking in left and right asking about
fucking muffin, dude. What the hell?
Fucking muffins.
And by the way, Jasmine can walk up on you at any point. She doesn't have the scooter anymore. So before you could hear her for a mile away. Now she's just opening up the door with the half-eaten muffin. And it's how about when she's going up the stairs to find out? Here's the deal. If somebody said, hey, I ate half the muffin, what does that do? It doesn't bring back the muffin. She climbed up, she hobbled up the stairs. just to figure it out and
Yeah.
couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And talking about like keeping it under wraps, the one scene where they're just like making out on the couch and fucking Daniel's like asleep right next to them.
First kiss.
Dude, who sleeps with their
Asleep with
sunglasses
sunglasses
on?
on.
Who does that?
So we couldn't really tell if he was sleeping.
I mean, that's a good strategy for Daniel if you wanted to pick up some inside, you know, like what's going on. Like, here, I'll just fall asleep with my sunglasses on.
Yeah. Also, not a good week for him.
Yeah, a couple of bad weeks back to back for Daniel. But let's just, you know, top the week off. You know, Monty wins the HOH. Would have loved to see somebody outside the leftovers win just for like fun, but the majority alliance wins the HOH, and he decides to nominate Indy and Alyssa just because those are the two people that are don't have any stake in that alliance of the leftovers. They're like the only duo that's an outsider. And so then the plan was if they were to win, you know, put up Taylor and Nicole, right? So what do you guys think of just the leftovers in general? I guess at this point, they seem to really be dominating the game, right?
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's clear that they set up, like we learned from the cookout how to do like a large alliance. I feel like in the past, no one's known how to really pull off a large alliance. I lost the word. How to pull it off, and we learned from the cookout exactly how to do it. And now the problem is, like Michael's already thinking about blowing it up, right? Like he's already. And by the way, not a bad idea. I just don't know how. I don't know how you do it. Like if Michael blows it up and like tries to take out a Monty, then what happens? Because then you just don't trust them, and that whole thing is dead, and it's like there's nothing happening. But I feel like you got to take it all the way down, and then as far as you can, and then you take out a Monty. But I don't know.
It's going to be interesting.
I think, yeah.
Go ahead, Pat.
It was
doo-doo ass Wi-Fi over there, but what do you got to say?
Am I lagging?
Every now and then you start chopping in and out, but I think you're good. I think you're good right now.
Yeah, that's a good point where a lot of people have it. Big alliances we've seen in the past have never worked, or they always assemble on day one or day two. Like it's popularity contest, and then there's like 8 or 9 people in it, and that where I think is like where Big Brother has always been like kind of gotten shit for, because it's always the popular people that would come together and try to take out the like the underlings or the like people who are in the lines, and then it always happens, somebody from that side wins, blows it all up, and then you know that's usually what happened. And with the cookout, that was a completely different strategy. And I think with the leftovers, what they're doing too is I think the big thing is they're not all meeting at once, or they're not meeting when people can find them. And I think that's a huge thing that a lot of big alliances in the past haven't done. Like the one Mickey season where he won, that whole alliance would just meet and then all at once in the middle of the day, and everybody was just like, "I guess we're out here," and this,
right.
It was terrible. And so what they're doing is they're not all, or they're wait. I love the scene where they're all in Michael's or Monty's room, and they're just waiting, and they're waiting for everybody to go to sleep, and they're waiting, and then finally they left, and they were like, "All right, so what do we do?" So I think that's a good thing, that they're doing a good job of covering their tracks with this alliance. But it's going to be interesting to see if Michael's a baller. He's cutthroat, and I like that.
You know what? That was a great scene when they were like all waiting for. And the funny thing is that I also love the awkwardness when they're all waiting to do a victory dance, right? The victory dance never looks cool. That's one, right? Never looks cool. And number two,
unorganized.
I'm always praying that someone comes walking in and sees the victory dance.
Huh.
The other thing was, do you remember when I don't remember who the person was, but he was an older player. He's probably like the old guy on that cast. He was doing this thing where he would talk to the camera to like bring his wife and daughters up to speed, and then someone heard him at the door and listened to his entire play. So he didn't just like wasn't saying hello or just he told his entire strategy to his wife and daughters on camera, and somebody was right outside the door and got it all.
I think there was Donnie in Derek Lavouster's season. He Donnie and Derek had always been like kind of like at each other, and there was one scene where Derek's trying to like read Donnie, and Donnie's not given anything, and Derek walks out, and Donnie like looks up at the camera and he starts going like this, and Derek walks right back in and sees him do that. He's like, "Oh, I just had to grab something," and then it cuts to Derek in the DR. He goes, "I know he's full of shit." Like and then Donnie went home that week just because of that one move. Like right. I love when that happens. And also, what do we think about? I mean, Indy's reaction to everything is like insane to me because Indy's like, "I cannot believe that Monty would put me up. I am so heartbroken." I was like, "Are you guys like close though?" Like, I don't think I've ever seen you two interact. Why is she like? She's like, "This
Indy's
is the
like
worst."
the most. Indy's the most confused contestant I've ever seen. Like and her confessionals are completely like you can tell written by production what to say. So I have no idea who she's actually aligned with. She's not
likable, right? So she's upset people several times in the house, and then this last time when Taylor and the other young lady were going to like talk game, she's just laying in bed with her sunglasses on, not saying anything, and like it was just like you. First of all, you want to connect with someone, take your sunglasses off. Like, let them see your eyes. But like, it just bothers me so much. I find her really annoying.
Yeah, Taylor's trying to like talk to Alyssa and her and try to get like something going, and she's just sleeping with sunglasses on. Like, we need to focus on next week. It's like, what are we doing?
It's also interesting because it was a weird week for Kyle and that whole situation. Because going back to like what the blow up with like Nicole and why she's out, it was interesting to see like this first kind of struggle of do I pick my showmance or do I pick this new alliance that's clearly going to take me very far. So I thought that was, and it worked. It literally couldn't have worked out better for him, which is like
he really didn't have to decide because Daniel just put his foot in his mouth there and did all the heavy lifting for Kyle, on his own. But this last episode, it's making me feel like Kyle's might be leaning towards the Alyssa side of things.
That's I mean,
stupid, but
I love when they score their little scenes with like the music, so you realize like he's falling in love and she's looking at him in ways, and and it's almost like a movie set,
Absolutely.
I thought that I thought that Daniel, like that great scene where Daniel's like, I know what Monty wants and he's not gonna get it, and then it's like, dude, say goodbye to your best friend. This is fantastic. I can't wait for you to watch this back. It's like, and then I'm gonna say this is that I did think he was effective when he came and he challenged Monty and did the "you're going to win the whole game" thing, because there's so many conversations that are in that big room, but as soon as you say you're going to win the game or you're a competition beast or whatever like this, everybody stops and listens, and then they get paranoid. So. And Monty, you can see like that's the worst thing you could say to Monty is like, you're going to win the whole game. He's like, okay, hold on a second. What are you doing? You want to go behind closed doors?
Yeah. I thought because Daniel is just like a loose cannon. And it was so funny to watch him and Nicole be like, we got the numbers, baby. Rake it in. A 9-1 vote. Taylor's up until Taylor's speech was awesome. It was like such a good, that was so fun to watch. But I will say that it was so funny when Daniel's like, yeah, Monty, you're going to win the game. And the same with Michael. And Michael's like, like, cut it out, shut up, shut the fuck up.
I was cool
Michael
with you
then said
saying
it-
Monty, but then me, not in on that.
Yeah.
But you know what was cool is that they cut to Michael's testimonial, and he's like, you know what? He's not wrong. I'm probably gonna win, but I don't need that to be said.
And then he wins the HOH.
But
What do you
here's the
guys-
thing is-
Go ahead.
Duke. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what do you guys think about, Michael contemplating going after the leftovers already? Too soon, do you think?
100% too soon.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless there's a way, like if you could pull it off where, like, how would he be going after him? Like right now, it's the perfect thing. So if those guys don't win, see now there's no way to do it because if they don't, if they don't win, if they don't get themselves off the block, then we got to vote. Everybody votes one of them out, right?
So basically, the only way that he could cover his tracks is basically to have Daniel's team win the veto. That way, nobody else is expected to backdoor Daniel's team,
Right.
and have
But
Daniel's team not use the veto, right? And then Monty's team still on the block, but then you're still drawing lines because you have to vote. You'd have to get the numbers to vote one of the dudes out.
couldn't like Daniel and Kyle, because Daniel would have to convince Kyle to not use it because Kyle could very easily just only one of them needs to use it.
But then you can't nominate the team that was.
Yeah.
So it would look weird,
Yeah, because again, if
All right.
then they
So
would just put up Indy, Alyssa.
They would put up
and-
any other duo and vote the non-leftover person out.
So wait a minute. So say Daniel wins the veto, right? And he's going to leave the nomination the same. But if his partner wants to change it, it could change.
Yep. But
So-
then
But that won't make Michael. So if his partner wants to change it, Michael's in the clear, and Kyle's done the dirty work, right?
theoretically, but the thing is, who does Michael nominate at this point?
Yeah.
Because then all the buff dudes that theoretically he would want to go after within his alliance are all safe at that point. So he would just nominate, I guess, the girls trio and then vote out one of Alyssa or. So it's weird because I don't think he's gonna. They alluded to it, but I think it's just for the episode.
I agree.
But that's the thing. I feel like he shouldn't have won this HOH, even though he should have.
Because he can't really.
He should have just let Daniel
can't
win.
really make. That would have been insane. It was weird because he can't. He's got to do what the house wants because he doesn't. This leftovers alliance is so well strung out that no matter what the combination is, if they all vote together, Michael would have to pull in all the girls and convince, Terrence, because if he got Alyssa, Indy, if Michael did, and he convinced Brittany too, as well, and he got Indy, Alyssa, Terrence, and then he'd have to get somebody else, which I don't know if you can, convince somebody to take out Monty or Joseph, because I don't know. I don't think he could do it right now.
I think Taylor's the only woman on the show that could actually win an HOH. I don't think any of the other girls can. I don't think they have it. And even when they start getting out of the speed and physical competitions, I still don't see any of them winning. But can we just talk about Turner and his turn at running? Is it Tanner or Turner?
Turner, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, Turner the burner, brother. He just fucking.
I'm
I gotta give it to him. He went for it.
He did.
I don't think he should be embarrassed. Remember, he's like, I don't, you know, how am I going to live this down? It's like, no, you know, it's like the girl who ran all around the outside. It's like, just look at the clock. There's no way that you're going to get there in time. Even if it was like another 3 feet wide, you're still not going to get there.
Yeah. It's so fun. And that scene with Jasmine, dude.
Oh,
He's like, can we play the footage back on that? Dude, Jasmine, unbearable.
he hates her.
Mike, I don't like her either. She is just because the whole Muffin Gate. First of all, we didn't get to see Michael's HOH room, which was weird, and I thought, and Twitter's not very happy with that either because I've been going on and seeing because it's like he's the only person that we didn't get to see and he's the only gay cast member, so that was kind of messed up. Also,
Fucked up. That's fucked up.
But wait a minute, what? So,
Wait, what are you saying, Pat?
yeah, what are people saying on Twitter? Like they're saying we didn't see his HOH room because he's gay.
that's what people are saying. They're like, it's funny that one HOH we don't see is the only gay cast member. I was like, yeah, but I would get that.
It is
if
kinda
something,
crazy.
Like, big happened, but if we spent 20 minutes on Muffin Gate about Jasmine complaining about a goddamn muffin, I was like, what? I would much rather love to see Michael's like note home or like I don't know. And you know what's crazy with Jasmine's muffin thing? You can tell she was legit mad, and then like she was like, "Oh, I'm being ridiculous. Let me try to play this off as funny." But like she was legit like
100%. She was. Did she make the muffins? Did they establish that she made the muffins?
She didn't make them. She didn't
She didn't even make the muffins. So all right. So somebody makes the muffins. She goes over and takes two muffins.
It's like
What's
you
in the
got
bag?
2 free muffins. You got 2 free muffins, and now you only have 1.5, and you're still complaining.
Oh my god.
And also in the movie, she's like, "I'm gonna save these for later. Storm away." Like, what kind of?
You're asking
Are we
for it.
Yeah, and I love that Turner's just like, "I did it."
Yeah. You
He's
know what?
growing on me. He's growing on me.
Oh yeah, me too. This past week, when he does the perfect thing, he just looks up at the camera with his eyes, makes just so we know, oh, you're the smart one in the house. Like you're with us. But you know what, Patrick, going back to not seeing Michael's HOH room, I wanted to bring this up last time. When it's week 1 and week 2 and someone says to another contestant, I really want to win HOH because I need to get that letter. It's like, you've been gone for 5 days. Like,
Yeah.
what are you waiting on news for something? Like someone having a baby? It's like, why does it have to happen so soon? And then I love when a grown man can't read a generic letter from his mother, right? Like, it's not even that special. It's not even like, hey, I don't have cancer anymore. It's just like, hey, I'm really proud of what you've done and what you've become. It's like in the house, what he's become in the house, because it's like he hasn't become anything, right? He's a roommate.
It's
But
a
then they're
roommate.
in tears.
I'll see you in a maximum 2 months. All right.
Exactly.
And it's not like it's like Survivor where they're like starving and I mean we're complaining over muffins, so I don't know. Apparently Jasmine, that's insane. That's a good point. That's funny.
The other thing is, and I'm not going to make fun of like a man because he cries like easily, but like when Daniel cried, like I don't know. I think if it were me and I knew I was going into the diary room and I felt emotional, I would sit that one out. You know, I'd be like, all right, I'll be back in a few. I'll go take a shower, maybe shed a few tears in the shower. I don't think I'd start bawling in the diary room. You know, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know. Daniel is just it's weird because it's like he is very unlikable, and I like because I don't like the fact that he's like he keeps saying he's a super fan. I'm a super fan. The fan in me, the fan in me. You're like not playing like you're a fan. Like you have such like you're so unaware of what's happening. And then, granted, it's easy for us to say that because we see everything, but the fan in me, and then he's just like completely like he's not like, okay, I messed up. I messed up. He's being like, oh, you know, you got one over Monty, you're the man, whatever. I do think that's the way he had to handle that situation. I mean, he already had a target on his back no matter what, so you might as well just try to shift and that target or just like bring somebody down with you. You might as well at that point.
You know what, dude? You've never once talked about her on the show, have we?
Graphics. We have some new graphics this week, brought to you by Uncle Shane and the tablet.
There we go.
A nice view of Brittany.
Have we ever talked about her?
Brittany is definitely playing hard for Michael's game. There's not really much else that I know that like is going on for her currently and she mentioned it I think in this past episode. I need to win a competition because I need to show that I'm not just playing Michael's game. I think she's actually said that, so she's aware of it at least. Is she going to do anything about it? I don't know. But what do you guys think?
My favorite moment, Duke, is when she had like the rope tied around her and she was running and she's like, I'm going to run like I see my husband. And they then like showed like video of her husband that she was running to. She's like, ah, she's like going to her husband. I thought that was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But she talks about, you know, being a hardcore competitor, and yeah, Michael's been sort of carrying her through the game. I was thinking about it after the last, you know, last episode of your show, and I thought, I don't think we ever mentioned her.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an interesting thing going forward between if that actually boils up, like if she is aware of, you know, Michael's threat, because definitely Michael right now, I think, is the front runner to win, whether people are aware of that in the house or not. So if the leftovers get down to it, does she try to attempt to take a shot at Michael or some of the other dudes? But my thought process is, you know, too early to take a shot within the leftovers. But I think in the next round or two, we're going to see somebody take a shot at either Monty, Joseph, or Kyle, because they seem like the target that goes early jury, the big dude that people are going to start to get scared of. I think it's leaning towards, I think, Monty right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask what out of those guys, who do you think goes first?
I think personally, I think Monty, just because he's shown that he can win, and he has a lot of influence over people. And I think Kyle seems a little bit more insulated with his like relationship with Alyssa, so she'd probably have his back as well. And I don't think he seems as threatening to everybody else as the other two do. But what do you guys think?
I agree with you. I think Monty's the guy to go after because he seems the most vocal of the three. I think Joseph is really smart. I think Kyle has a little bit of a connection to not only his girlfriend, but also to Daniel. I think Daniel kind of likes him a little bit. So I think Monty is the one to go. I wish I saw more of Joseph because I think he actually is really smart and seems like a good dude. So I wish he had a little more airtime.
Yeah. I think Joseph is that because Kyle's mentioned like he started this alliance, and I was like, I thought it was Joseph. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like Joseph is putting a lot of this stuff together, and Monty and Kyle are kind of taking not credit, but like I don't know. I think out of those guys, I think Kyle goes first. I think out of the leftovers, this is my prediction. I think he's the first person they go after, just because of his showmance. You know, because if Alyssa doesn't go home this week, she probably won't. But you never know. But if Alyssa wins, I think she goes after Monty or Michael. But if that side doesn't win, I think out of the leftovers, if the leftovers clean sweep, I think the first person to go is Kyle. Because
I don't think there's any way there's going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned the cookout earlier. The cookout, I think, had it like a separate cause, you know, get everybody to the end so that you could say like, we did that. And I think there's going to be some internal politicking amongst this group. And those dudes just are like they're like, you're not going to let those guys get anywhere close to being able to comp out at the end. So
yeah. And I like in this past episode that Monty and Joseph had that conversation. We're like, hey, we gotta volunteer. We gotta look like we're not running this. And then Michael was like, I know what you're doing. like I read right through that. And so I was like, ooh, it's a smart idea, but at the same time, Michael reads right through it. So,
but you know what, you're talking about like Monty and Joseph as like competition beasts, but they're both too bulky. Like, because Big Brother always does that thing where you're on that like wall that's sideways, and then you get in there like, and Julie's always like, I hope it doesn't rain. And like rain comes down. And it's like, we know it's going to rain because we've watched it for 20 seasons in a row. And maybe they're going to get hit with, pain, right? So it's like, we know it's coming. And it's really difficult for guys that size to stay on that little like thing, right? So it's like Michael's like about 45 pounds. So like he can like lock in. And Kyle is just like, I feel like he's 14 years old and super athletic. So like he'll be in there. And he's got a girl that he's trying to impress. So he's really going to like lock in. So, but yeah, I think Michael's the guy to watch.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the interesting part about the leftovers as well is as much as Michael's already sussing these Jack dudes, I don't think the Jack dudes are sussing Michael at all. Like, I don't think I think they're just like cool with him.
That's another thing where I'm so surprised nobody has made a comment about. I mean, other than Daniel, but like Michael's just been annihilating these competitions. Like he's won 3 vetoes and an HOH, and it's week 4 or 5. Like that's insane. He's usually always winning. Nobody's mentioned it other than Daniel.
Right.
Which is like, I mean, good for Michael. I mean,
Dude, when this last competition, when Taylor comes out, first of all, she's built like an Olympic athlete, right? She's constantly wearing like red spandex. So she looks like she's wearing like Olympic colors too. So they cut to her. She's like doing like leg stretches. And you're like, this woman looks like she's in incredible shape. She falls off the thing twice, right? So it's like, when is she going to compete? Like she has it in her. Like we need her to win. And she's just like, and then yet Michael's like, he's like Gumby and he's just winning everything.
I feel like every competition too, it's like Taylor, like before the competition happens, Taylor's in like the diary room. I got to show these people that I got to compete. Like she's getting all pumped up and then just like
fizzles right out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if like you physically saw them and you heard what the competition is, everybody would point to her and be like, "Oh, that was the winner, right? Oh, it wasn't her. It was the scrawny guy in the back. Oh, okay, that's interesting."
No, I think that. Yeah, I think that's so funny. Where she's always like, "I'm gonna get my revenge." No, but
next week.
Next week.
So is Jasmine going to be awful in everything all season long? Do you guys think? Like, is she going to have like that injury the whole summer?
That could be a strategy. I'm injured. Don't vote me out. I can't do anything.
That was almost amazing that in 11 seconds she moved not even 2 feet. That's insane. Like that's all that is impressive in and of itself that she moved 2 feet to the left in 11 seconds.
Why did they allow her, because we've seen in weeks past, they allow her to sit things out if she doesn't feel comfortable. She felt comfortable climbing up with a boot on like a small little plank to try like to move as quickly as possible. Like why did she choose that one to get back into?
Yeah, I don't know. That it's and she's just so unpleasant all the time. Every edit I've seen of her is just she's being the worst. And she's like, "I'm gonna hound dog," and it's just like, shut the fuck up! Oh my god, yeah. I can't stand her. It's funny. Christmas in her original season had the same exact injury and like beasted comps, and it's like, well, it can be done. So you know what, Jasmine, I'm done with you.
Okay, but Christmas was a world-class athlete. She was like an unbelievable shape. She was like in unbelievable shape.
Maybe
Ripped.
that's right.
But wait, do you remember Christmas's injury? Didn't she try to give somebody somebody jumped on her back for a piggyback ride?
Whistle nut. Fucking the cowboy, brother. That was so funny. Did you guys see you mentioned when Turner looks up at the camera, like, has anybody seen this? Did you see the replay of Kyle? Like, did he touch her leg at all?
I think maybe his knee bumped into it. I think that because of what Turner said, it may have grazed it. I think she likes attention. I don't know.
I love their dynamic that they're like paired up and he just like wants nothing to do with her. He's over her
He's
shit.
got like sort of a smirk. I don't know, because it's not a smile, but it's like maybe a little bit of a smirk, like he's just like, I can't believe this is happening, you know?
In the meeting that the leftovers had, he's like, yeah, you guys can nominate us. Like, it's cool.
He's like,
I'm willing to put his own game at risk just to get rid of her.
You know what? One of us is going to get voted out. Doesn't really matter at this point.
Either way, we're going to be separated.
But shit, other than that, I mean, we know that at this point, Michael's the HOH. We know the nominees. The only other notes that I had in my notes app was Daniel imploding. And we kind of covered that. At the end of the episode on Sunday, I thought it was a little bit, you know, when the closing credits, when he was like, play your own game, that kind of stuff. Not really great. Kind of dug himself a hole, but he seems to somewhat have recovered, but he's still kind of fucked a little bit. So,
but you know what? When he starts spouting off play your own game, if you're Michael, you must love that because he already set up that Monty's running the game. So by play your own game, as much as they're like, he's annoying, he needs to go away, they're like, he's got a point though. Like, you know, maybe I am being controlled by one or two guys and I should figure something out. So it might not save his game, but it's going to help out. I mean, does Terrence have a shot at this? Does Terrence have a DJ, whatever his name is, have any shot?
I'm glad that you brought him up because we always need to cover a little bit of Terrence on these episodes. He doesn't have a shot. I'm gonna call it right now. He doesn't have a shot, but he did have another. I think they allude to him being a DJ again this episode.
Yes, they did.
He did. He did. I wrote down his comment. I just gotta find it.
Gotta write it down for sure. Oh god.
Yeah, because at some point he's in the it's time for DJ Showtime. Is that his nickname, DJ Showtime? Or did he just come up with it? Like, it's time for DJ Showtime to step up and return the favor. And then they cut to him in the yard, not even coming close to returning the favor.
I love that so goddamn. I think there were multiple times, or I forget. It was either in this past episode or the episode before. Every time they would cut to Terrence, there was like a whisper of something, and I couldn't hear what it was. But I think it had something to do with him being a DJ. I think he's the people's champ. I think he should be our favorite. He's like, I love him because he's just so.
If you guys will allow it, like, I know that my winner pick went out. Can I have Terrence?
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, Pat, when players like Pooch and them are out, do you ever like watch? Because I know that you follow some Twitters and then watch some other like podcasts and stuff. Do you ever like look to see if they are able to comment on the game, or does CBS restrict that?
CBS gives them, as soon as they leave, they have like 3 or 4 interviews with certain pods or podcasts or like e-news and stuff. So they'll talk about what happened. How was your experience? You know, this is what happened. This is what went down. What are your opinions? So he comments on it, and people comment on them leaving the house or their perspective of it. And then I don't know if they have like a wait time for social media. Like Paloma, for instance, she when she left, it was like probably like a week or two during like week 2 or 3. Then she made a comment about all the backlash she got. and
Yeah.
that was, like, you know,
That was a special circumstance though. Like I'm kind of wondering if like Pooch is commenting on people's gameplay. Like that would be fascinating.
yeah. I'll do some more.
Guys. Dr. Will wouldn't do that. Who
Like,
are
dude,
you, bro?
I think you should get Pooch on the show.
I'll definitely reach out, send him a DM. Maybe he'll be the fourth person on here. I don't know.
That'd be great.
Love to have you on if you're listening. But well, shit. That's all that I had in my notes app. Anything else from you guys before I close it out here?
Let me just look at my notes.
Pat, undergrads, repping the merch.
New
Nice.
merch coming out soon.
Is any of it on a hanger behind you?
Unfortunately, not. We got a new stock of stuff coming out though soon. New merch. It's gonna be.
Where can
really
people
cool.
find that?
People can find it in my Instagram bio or at undergrads on Instagram. It'll probably be in the bio. Probably won't be out by the time this comes out, but hopefully within the next week.
Cool. Well, guys, if you guys don't have anything else to plug, I will go ahead and tell everybody to like the video. No dislikes this week, and subscribe if you like this stuff. But other than that, thank you guys again for coming on Lost at Sea, and hopefully we can do this again next week for episode 5, your week 5.
Let me check my schedule. I'm in.
Shit. All right.